Alright, hey everybody, so I'm back. This is going to be a quick video on how to install a doorbell on a house that doesn't have one. This is typically for houses like before the 70s. So you're going to just have to follow. There's going to be a few steps I don't get into too much detail about, but just kind of pick the meat off the bone with this. Okay, now in order to have a doorbell set up, manually set up for a house that doesn't have one, in this scenario, you need to already have a power outlet somewhere near the front door or wherever you want the doorbell to be installed. Okay, this is the site that we're doing the install on, but for a couple minutes, you'll see me at a different site, strictly for demonstration purposes. All right, so some of the things you'll need is a drill with a hammer function. You'll also need a drywall knife and a drill bit that's long enough to get outside the house and also made out of the right material. So a mason, this is for concrete. This one's for wood, depends on what your house is made out of. Some wire strippers. Also, some crimpers or something to connect the wires and keep them connected. A box cutter, a blank wall plate cover. I'll explain that later. A mechanical chime box. And it needs to be mechanical. I'll explain that also. They're not doorbell friendly, the digital ones. And this is a AC transformer that plugs into an outlet, 16 volts. You find these common with old alarms and other camera systems or weird things like that. You can buy these online. I'll try to put the link in the description. Also, you need a fishing rod or glow rod that is tall enough to go all the way to the top or wherever you're gonna put your chime box and mount it on the wall at. All right, so we're gonna use a box cutter to cut around the outlet. And the reason we're doing this is to stencil it and give a shadow or a footprint of it. Then we're going to remove the screw retaining the cover. Now within this footprint, we're gonna try to drill a little hole, just enough room to fish it. Just a little room to fish the glow rod up the wall. Now what we're going to do is slide this glow rod up the wall, and we want to make sure this glow rod goes the full length of where we're trying to fish the wire. So as you see, I'm pushing it in the wall, it's going up the wall. By the time you're done, you should see about the bottom of this glow rod right about here. So you would keep pushing it up and just keep going. And if it stops, like in this instance, there's a cross stud. If that happens, do not do it because it means you won't be able to fish the wire down the wall. If it's clear and your stick goes the full length of the wall, like this, but all the way up the wall, then you're good to go. And you'll see a little bit more of this a little bit further in the video, so just stay tuned. Okay, so before we start, you're gonna get a drywall knife like this, and you're gonna cut about a 2 inches all around square hole in the wall. Make sure before you cut that hole in the wall that you cut it vertically above the outlet, like directly above it. Very important for fishing the wire. Okay, so with the drywall knife, we cut a little square hole in the wall. In this case, the door is a little offset from where the outlet is, so I'm going to drill diagonally to the left towards where I'm going to mount the doorbell camera. Just be careful to watch out for power lines. That's part of the reason we cut a hole in the wall before we drilled, to see the power line, to make sure we don't sever it. Okay, now one thing I had to watch out for drilling outside is this power line. That's why I cut a hole, so I could actually have more wiggle room, because I know there's an outlet, so there's a power line. So I drilled my hole right next to it, as you see, and that goes all the way to outside. So you definitely don't want to hit that. Okay, now to fish the wire through the wall, all I had to do was strip it down, and then I just stuck the wire through this hole on the glow rod. That's what it's for. Then twisted it really tight and stuck it through the hole that I already drilled in the wall, and just stuck this stick through the hole, and that's all I had to do to get the wire through. Okay, so before you get confused, let me explain what's going on, and I'm going to touch up on this a little later. This hole that you see in the wall that we're dealing with, you saw the red wire that's going in, and it's going straight out to where the doorbell is. It's actually going from the doorbell and up to this chime box, because this is where we'll get power. Of course, you're going to see this white wire. It's going from the transformer, which is giving it power, to the chime box. So it's going to be inside the wall going straight to the chime box. And then in turn, it goes and powers also the red wire. This chime box has more terminals to power the red wire, which goes straight to the doorbell. This is how it makes the sound. But I'm going to touch up on that a little later because I know it's confusing. Okay, so what you're seeing now is me fishing my glow rod stick up the wall. This is why I told you to make the hole directly above it so you can see the stick. And then I tied the wire to it and I'm pulling it back down the wall and pulling it out as we speak. Okay, so I've dropped my chain. Up there is where I'm gonna run this wire that's going straight down here and run it all the way up to the chime box. Okay, so I've fished my glow rod, my fishing stick up here. I tie my wire to it. I'm going to pull it down the wall. So you're gonna see it come out right here. Bam. Okay, so just so you understand what's going on, we have the wiring going from the doorbell, which is going to go straight to the chime box, and we have the wire going from the transformer going straight to the chime box. So that's the doorbell wire, and this is going to be the transformer wire, which goes onto the chime box. And I'm about to show you how to connect that now. Okay, so we have our chime box. We're gonna get started on that. So before we set this up, we're going to put the wires through this hole right here. Okay, so we got our wires through the hole. I'm gonna show you how to hook this up. To mount the chime box with these screws, with some drywall screws in this case. This white wire is from the transformer, so we're gonna put it on the designated location for the transformer, which is right here. For front, this is normally for a setup with 2 doorbells, but we're doing the front, so we're gonna get these 2 wires as you remember. Go to the front doorbell wire, so we're gonna get one of these wires. I'm gonna choose the black one since it's a different color. Just gonna hook it up here and of course screw down the terminal. Now, that's how you wire these up. One wire from the front doorbell wire and one from the transformer, then the other 2, you just twist together. You can use a wire nut or electric tape to connect the wires. I just use one of these beanie dolphin clips and then crimp it down, or people call them crimps. They're technically, I guess, called dolphin clips. And then I always pull the wire to test it to make sure it's connected. Okay, in this case, we're using a Honeywell 16-volt AC transformer. I've already screwed each wire that's going up there to the transformer on the terminal on the 2 AC outputs. You just plug this in, this is gonna give 16 volts. This is what regular traditional doorbell transformers these days have. I've already made a little room for the wires so the outlet cover can fit on. Okay, now that the outlet cover is back on, I'm gonna push this wire in a little more. I'm gonna put this transformer, plug it in, and then use this screw to secure it to the outlet. This way no one unplugs it doing anything stupid. And that's a Phillips. Don't use a flathead because that's also stupid. And we're gonna test it now. Now that I have everything connected, it's got power to the chime box and the wires going out here is powered. When I touch these together, it should ring. I promise it will. So now that that's done, we can just put this cover on and that's good to go. We're gonna cover that up and then we'll install our doorbell camera. All right, now I'm gonna just move the wire. We can put silicone in that hole to waterproof it, and also you can either put drywall compound here, let it dry, sand it down and repaint it, or just put this wall plate, which is what we're gonna do temporarily. I promise you the customer's probably never gonna touch this and isn't gonna take the time to even think about doing that. Okay, so I put some silicone in the hole in the wall, and I'm going to put this plate cover back on. Okay, now with these wires, you could have connected these to a traditional doorbell, but in this case, the customer is getting an alarm soon, so we're gonna use the alarm.com camera since it's popular and universally accepted with several security companies and compatible with them. So I've already connected the terminals. Okay, and bam, we got the doorbell chime, got the wall plate cover, and the AC transformer, and this, and we can ring it. And you hear it rings in the house. So this is ready to be programmed in and learned in. All right, so this is going to conclude the video. I really hope y'all enjoyed it and I hope it was very helpful. So please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please just jump in the comments. I'm pretty active in the comment section for that. I really hope it was helpful because I took a lot of time trying to record and re-record and try to be as descriptive as I could with what I was working with. So I really hope it helped. If it didn't, I'm really sorry because I was really hoping it would.